Oh, baby, we are talking micro playbook. I'm going to show you how to make one, how to position it, how to sell more of them, and how to turn this into some fun income. Of course, we love that kind of standard of 1K per day. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more. I've been building online businesses since the late 90s, mostly in health and fitness, and now in my 50s, I'm helping my fellow 40, 50, 60-ish plus solopreneur build pretty cool one-person businesses during our second act. And today we are talking micro playbook. And you're saying, Ryan, what is a micro playbook? What is this craziness you're speaking of? This is my kind of working definition of it. It's like a short multimedia program between 30 to around 90 minutes, something people can consume in about an hour. But again, multimedia is the key. It's getting the video, the audio, the transcription, and I'll take you inside one and show you what it looks like. But it's a multimedia, but it looks more on the front end like a book, like positioned as a higher end upmarket book. And here's the power of a micro playbook. Number one, easy to create. I created my new one in 68 minutes. 68 minutes. I hit record. I actually did it live. I invited my members on, all members of my Access Pass, and I said, if you want to come on, I'm going to record it. And I recorded the whole thing from start to finish, 68 minutes. So it's much easier to create than a book. And I've written books, and I've written a few books. They take months and months, and they're cool. And what's great about a book, right, is that uh, nothing positions you better as an expert than a book, especially a bookstore type book. But even a multimedia micro playbook and the way I'm designing them and positioning them, it really does set you up as an expert because it has the look and the feel and the polish of a book, of a front end book, without writing a book. You're not lying. You're not misleading people. You're not saying, oh, this is the book. You're talking about that is a multimedia product. But again, the front end and the cover design is important to this. And look, here's the truth. There's going to be people who get a little confused. There's one person who actually bought it and said, can I please have a refund? Because I thought it was a book. That's fine. Things like that happen. It's okay. But for the most part, here's what you're going to find is that when we create these micro playbooks and position it the right way and price it the right way, especially for a front end sale, it really is easier to sell. My conversions are really, really strong. I'm only about a week and a half in. I haven't even promoted it to my email list yet. I only did one post on social media and I mentioned it in a YouTube video, and that's it. So it's cool because it's such a low barrier to entry that you're going to make a lot of sales because the buyer is what's the most valuable asset, right? A list of 1,000, 5,000, 100,000 people seeking freebies, cool, but doesn't pay the bills. The buyers are the ones who are going to drive your business. And even if they spend $7, $10, $15, $20, it's a much different person than someone who just wants to download a free checklist. The other thing from a customer perspective, from a reader perspective, is that it's much easier to consume. My book, this was from like 15, 20 years ago. Cool. But 280 something pages. That takes a long time. That takes a long time to read. My new micro playbook, you press play, 68 minutes, done. Or the transcriptions, 29 pages. Or you want to see all the handouts, 97 pages. And in a minute, I'm going to take you inside and show you what it looks like. Another nice thing about a micro playbook, it's like a Swiss Army knife of income, meaning you can sell it. Well, before I did, let me just type 1 hour below if you want to see the actual sales page, because there's nothing better than actually going through this yourself and buying it. That's my little plug. But spending right now it's only $10, spending it and actually going through and seeing how it functions. But what's great is because it's a low front end and it has the feeling of a multimedia with the look and polish of a book, it's a really good front end, low cost way to bring in new buyers. You could make it work with paid traffic. You just have to have a different upsell. You have to have an upsell that's going to be a little bit higher priced, probably $50 to $100. There's a lot of different ways to do that, but know that it can work really well on the front, even without an upsell. if you're doing it through free social media traffic like YouTube, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's a really, really good way to sell and get buyers in. And then on the back end, this is my back end. This is my recurring revenue program right now, the all access PDF powered, but the front end leads to it. So people who buy the 1 hour workday are then see an offer. Hey, if you're interested in more of this stuff, if you're interested in having the templates and building your list and getting the email templates, check out the all access pass. So, and that's a low cost as well. Such a really natural lead in to a good back end recurring revenue program. We call them continuity income. You might call it a membership site, but you don't need a membership site. You don't need a big community and hours of video. I've done some other videos on that. I'm gonna be speaking more about that as well. But just know that you don't have to do that. But this micro playbook is a really good lead in to it, especially if it's directly related to the topic. So how do you create one? That's the big question. That's great, Ryan. Stop teasing us. One guy's like, oh, it's just like an infomercial. I love your YouTube comments. It's crazy. Like 95% are really supportive, but then you get to someone like, oh, another scammer. But I want to show you how to create one and then what this actually looks like in the real world. So let's play a little bit. Let me share my screen. This is what the presentation looked like. So I built mine in Canva. So yours, maybe you use Canva for presentations or Keynote or PowerPoint or Google Slides, or whatever it is. That doesn't matter. You don't need to get hung up on that. I used to use PowerPoint, then I used Keynote, and I'm loving Canva. But what I did was I created my presentation, my outline. Why listen to me, 1 hour, how this works. I gave a little background about it. Here are the tools you're going to need, and then going into the system of it, right? And then what I did was I had let me get to this, your to-do list, right? It basically broke down the whole system. So I just want to take you inside all these different slides showing you how it works, how this 1 hour day works, right? Getting it into breaking down the 3 parts. So if you look here, I know I'm going through this quickly. Like if I talk about here are the 3 steps, this was 1, this was 2, and this helped me stay organized. These are almost like chapters, right? And then I did demos, and here was 3, and breaking down task by task. So that's what I did. That's the first thing I did was write down, here are my main things, my main points. So I like a system. I like a 1, 2, 3 or an ABC. Maybe it's alliteration. I go more into this into my deeper trainings, but just know if you have a system, it's much more powerful as opposed to just throwing, here's 75 ways to X, Y, and Z, right? If you have some type of system that your micro playbook works around, it's that much better. It's that much more effective because we want to have something of value that we add, not just a bunch of random thoughts or random ideas. It's got to be related. And then here's what it looks like on the inside. So I use Kajabi, and if you're interested in a free trial, here is my link with the power of, look at that, boom, ryanlee.com/Kajabi. I have a link below as well. That's what I use. Use whatever system you want. You could deliver this entirely through email. You could deliver this through Gumroad, through ClickFunnels, whatever it is. I just happen to use Kajabi now. But then it's each of these have their own parts. So this is what it looks like if you're inside the course. So this is the video. So that whole presentation I showed you, I recorded it live and in real time using StreamYard. And then I uploaded the video here. So you get the entire video. Then you get the audiobook, which was just taking the video and removing the audio. I use Descript. to get the audio and then the transcription, which was just a word for word. You download the transcription, it's a PDF file. And then they get the handouts. So the Canva, which I just showed you, this whole thing here, these 90, I believe it was 97, yep, 97 pages are then delivered here as handouts. So someone who buys it, they spend just $10 and they get the video, they get the transcription, they get the handouts, and they get the audio. So it's a really good deal and it's a really good value, especially if you're delivering on your promise. And that's the thing. What this is where most people make mistakes when it comes to marketing is that I actually, let me show you quickly here too. Let me show you one more thing before I get into my little rant. And this is what the sales page looks like as of now. So I built this sales page again in Kajabi. So everything is there. My emails, my customers, the sales pages, right? Some FAQs. And when they add to the cart, it checks out and they get instant access. So it's a really simple way to run a one-person business. Now, what I was going to say is that this is a mistake a lot of entrepreneurs and marketers make. They think, okay, I'm only charging $10, so I really don't have to do much. I'm just going to throw together a few resources, or I'll just do I'll just interview a buddy, right? I'll interview a buddy and then I'll charge $10 and then you rationalize it saying, well, it's only $10. And I understand that. And I understand the value of speed and urgency and building something really quickly. I'm all about that. That's why my program was done in 68 minutes. However, it still has to be really good. If they spend $10, they should get 10 times that in value. They should get $100 in value. They should say, man, if you charge me $100, I would have been okay with that. That's where you want to get to. Whatever it is you're teaching. I don't care if you're teaching how to knit a sweater, how to plant, tomatoes in your backyard, or how to flip a house. Whatever it is you're selling, you've got to deliver it so that they feel like this was so well worth it. And not just volume. I don't mean you have to add 4,000 bonuses and it has to be 15 hours. In fact, the opposite, because remember I talked about one of those points of a value of this is that it's easy to consume. We're busy, right? We don't want to spend 6 hours when we could spend an hour, or we don't want to spend an hour. We could spend 30 minutes. So don't think more is necessarily better. In fact, that can often hurt the sale and that can hurt the conversion. So what I want you to start thinking about is, how can I create something? How can I create a system, a mechanism, something that's sort of like a 3 to a 5 step system where I could deliver it in this micro playbook type delivery, right? And if you want to see this in action, just type in 1 hour below and you could see the sales page. You can buy it. You could spend $10. You can go through. You could join the all access pass or not. Totally up to you. But I tend to buy a lot of products because I like to see what it looks like and what the sales process looks like. But obviously you don't have to. You do your own thing. But I really hope that you found this valuable. So I got to take you a little bit inside how this looks and how this functions. Obviously, look, there's more to it, right? There's more to actually sitting and creating a name of a book that works and creating the right branding and really being thoughtful of what is this going to be, not just slapping together a generic title, how to flip a house and putting up, creating your thing with clip art in a Word doc. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having something that looks good, that feels good, that people immediately get. They're in, they get the value, and you can grow a business. And here's the thing, you feel really good about it. I was able to, when I told you I only mentioned this on my social media, and I felt really good about mentioning this on my personal social media. My family's on there, my old college roommates, my sister, my wife, my kids. It was something I felt good about. And if you have something you feel good about, you have such a better chance of marketing it well versus, oh, well, I don't want people to know it's me because I'm teaching, how to pick up chicks, or I'm teaching this crypto thing and you're embarrassed. That's not a good way to build a business or a brand. So do something you love, do something that helps people. And let's wrap this baby up in a little micro playbook action. Type in 1 hour below, like, subscribe, and most of all, let's watch the next video because, my friend, we are just getting warmed up. See you on the next one.